I feel my heart go deeper, my heart go deeper into my God. When I pray, I feel my heart go deeper, my heart go deeper into my God. Right here, right now, right where I am, I pray. Right here, right now, right where I am, I when I pray, I feel my soul go deeper, my soul go deeper into my God. When I pray, I feel my soul go deeper, my soul go deeper into my God. Right here, right now, right where I am, I pray. Right here, right now, right where I am, I pray. When I pray, I feel my love go deeper, my love go deeper into my God. When I pray, I feel my love go deeper, my love go deeper into my God. Right here, right now, right where I am, I pray. Right here, right now, right where I am, I pray. Right here, right now, right where I am, I pray. Right here, right now, right where I am, I pray. And I pray, I feel my heart go deeper, my heart go deeper into my God. Blessed always, blessed always, for the arms of God surround us. Let our joy be so triumphant that we rest in God and say amen. Blessed always, blessed always, for the arms of God surround us. Let our joy be that we rest in God and say amen. Blessed always, blessed always, for the arms of God surround us. Let our joy be so triumphant that we rest in God and say amen. Let our joy be so triumphant that we rest in God and say amen. Rest in God and say amen.
Welcome to the Napa Valley Center for Spiritual Living for our live Sunday service. We have an exciting service today with Bodhi Setchko as our musician and so many other things, fun things. So thank you for joining us. I'm going to turn straight over to Bodhi to open us up with a few chants.
God is the source of who I am. God is the dream of what I do. And it's God I'm talking to. I give myself to be used by you. God is the source of who I am. God is the dream of what I do. And if it's God I'm talking to, I give myself to be used by you. God is the source of who I am. God is the dream of what I do. And if it's God I'm talking to, I give myself to be used by you. God is the source of who I am. God is the dream of what I do. And if it's God I'm talking to, I give myself to be used by you. One more time. God is the source of who I am. God is the dream of what I do. And if it's God I'm talking to, I give myself to be used by you. God is the source.
God is the source. Thank you, Bodhi, so much. We welcome you all the way from Marin County, just next door to us, trekked over here. And we also bless all of you who've joined us today. Such a blessing you are to have you as part of our community, whether it's your first time or your 50th time. We just bless you, and we have an affirmation for you. We just raise our hands and we say, we bless you today, knowing that the peace and happiness you seek is also seeking you. We honor your inner radiance as you let your light shine in the world. We are grateful for your presence in our community. So good to have you here. It's also good to affirm the vision and mission of this wonderful Center for Spiritual Living. So we start with the vision. We say, we are an inclusive community for spiritual growth and compassionate action. And our mission, we are co-creating a world that works for everyone by living intentionally, loving unconditionally, and seeing God in all people and all faiths. So glorious for us to affirm this and know it is true, that it's coming forth in all the time we are. And the world needs this sense of oneness, the sense of love, the sense of peace in all ways. So we're glad to be in service to do that. Thank you for joining us and being a part of this. Before we get on to the regular part of our service, I want to let you know a few announcements. October is our Abundance Month, and we always like to celebrate with a movie as a metaphor for our abundance. And we're going through Black Panther. If you haven't seen that movie, take time to look at it, to view it, because each Sunday we kind of talk about it a little bit. It's a really, not only is it a great superhero adventure, but it's got a great message with it, and we talk about it each week. So thank you for joining us in that. We're also part of this Abundance Month. We have our pledge campaign, and we sent to most of you, maybe not all of you, but most of you, cards of intent to consider what your giving will be in 2021. And we appreciate your prayerful consideration. By participating, your conscious, intentional giving is a spiritual practice, just like meditation or prayer. And it allows you to open up to God's goodness in all parts of your life. And it also helps the Board of Trustees plan a good steward budget, a wise budget for next year. So we appreciate your participation in that. And we ask that you get them back to us, either the a card version of it. If you don't have one, Mary, just call Mary. She'd be glad to send one out to you. There's also there's one online that you can fill out. So either way, on our website, you can look at that and do that by November 1st. And then November 1st, we're going to have a gathering. We don't know the details of it. We're waiting for the county to give us some more guidelines on what kind of in-person gathering we can. But after the service, we'll do the regular service streaming just like normal on November 1st. That's a Sunday. And then after the service, we're going to have a gathering. It could be just a group of people gathering for social. It could be a little more. We're going to give you more details next week. But it's a theme of Superhero Sunday, because not only is it Black Panther celebration, but all of you who are superheroes and your engagement in this community. And we're doing superhero work out in the world. So good celebration. And also that same day, Imelda Gomez is leading her community, her Latinx community, that we can be engaged in. I'll explain more later, but it's for Dia de los Muertos. And what a glorious celebration that is each year. We're in the middle of Latinx History and Heritage Month. We want to celebrate it. It's different this year because so much of Latina culture is celebrated and gathering in groups. And with the pandemic, they haven't been, and we haven't been able to celebrate this heritage this year as much. But we want to continue to hold in front of you the power of the culture of the Latinx in this valley and the importance of it, the diversity that it brings, and the richness of all of our lives because of this heritage that's in the valley. So thank you. And we'll let you know more on the website and next week about how to view the altar that will be set up in this room on November 1st. And you'll be able to view it on Zoom, how it's being set up, and be a part of that. So we'll be glad to share that with you as well. Also, in late of this month and early November, there are 2 new classes starting. The first one is called Mental Equivalence with Kristen Moore, who is our ministerial candidate. And to leap into the state of true potential by activating the law of mental equivalence. And she will walk you through how to apply spiritual principles and to create the life of your choosing. It's 5 Thursdays starting October 20th. I always say, because it's written here, Tuesdays. 5 Tuesdays. I think it's wrong on the website, so let's correct that. 5 Tuesdays in the links. 5 Tuesdays starting October 27th, including the second night would be election night. So there's one for a mental equivalent that we are really celebrating. I think as we move towards the elections, we are really holding unity for all people. That's really, I know it's a movement of spirit. I feel that spirit is moving not towards a particular candidate, but towards the highest and best, the best choices for unifying this country as one, because that is the nature of spirit, not to divide, but to unify. And we appreciate and know this truth is coming forth and hold it in our prayers. So there's a link on the webpage to register, for the Zoom link to register, and all things are on there. And it is Tuesdays. Let me clarify that. Then on Thursdays in November, Michelle Lang and I are doing a new gratitude class called Cultivating a Grateful Life and New Gratitude, the 3 Thursdays before Thanksgiving. And what's going to be fun about this is we're actually creating packets with little things. We got the inspiration from the wine tasting we did at Sip and Savor. So we're going to create little packets of things. And each week you're going to have a packet. And you'll open it up and you'll get different activities we'll do with you. So it's going to be a lot of fun. Also, the link to register that. That one you'll need to go through Eventbrite, but the link is on there because we need the people to pay ahead of time because of the supplies involved in that. But Michelle and I are going to have fun guiding you through that process. The 3 Thursdays before Thanksgiving, starting on November, the first Thursday in November. So join us for that. And then each week we have supportive activities, including Zoom calls, prayer calls, meditations, recovery groups. So please look online for all of that. If there's any needs you have, either for prayer or for support, reach out to us. Give us an email. Be a part of these online groups. We want to be available to you, and let us know how we can support you during this time. Now we will begin the sacred part of our service.
Good morning, my lovely community. I was thinking to start with some message first, but I think I'm going to start with a meditation because this beautiful song opened my heart this morning to start with a meditation. And whatever you are right now, in the sacred place you are, I invite you to close your eyes and breathe deeply and release. And I invite you to do one more time, getting in peace, leaving behind all the worries, all the circumstances that you're holding right now, and just be centered in this beautiful day and the happiness time that we're having today, right now, together as a community, supporting each other with the circumstances that we are crossing, knowing and accepting and affirming that the God is holding us, taking care of us, and all our needs are supported. Y es en este momento que reconozco una solamente, un solo Dios, una sola luz, la luz que ilumina este día, la luz que ilumina la vida de cada ser viviente. Y sé que estoy unida a esa luz, a ese amor, a la paz y a la abundancia, que nada puede separarme de mi bien mayor. Y es así que con esta paz, con esta gratitud de este bello día, afirmo y declaro el bien para todos. And so it is. Amen. And what I would like to share with you this morning is how much I miss you guys, how much I miss my Sundays to come to the church and see each and others and have a conversation outside with a cup of coffee and enjoying the sunny day. And I miss you. I miss so much the days, but right now it is what it is, and I'm happy to be here with you crossing my fears to be talking in front of the camera, and I don't know who is looking me in the other side. I don't know who is listening me, but I'm here. So these circumstances motivate me to continuing with my growing, because I told Reverend Jay, you know what, I feel so weird talking in front of the camera. I don't want to do anymore. But I'm here, believing in the abundance. And the most steps go forward in my life is the most abundance it is in my life. Believing in that, and believing and also that is the amount of the gratitude. And I so grateful today because yesterday I was in the Global Convention Practitioner, and I had the opportunity to meet many practitioners, many practitioners from another countries and another places. If I would be in person, maybe never I had that opportunity to meet other people. So thank you to these circumstances. I'm opening to new opportunities and open to the technology and accept what I have right now. And I'm here in front of you guys. And thank you for being this supportive community for me. Thank you for support my community, Latina. And I feel so accepted. I feel loved, even though our culture is different, but I feel in home. And thank you for accepting me this morning. And also with the song that the musician opened, God is the source. So God is my source this morning. Thank you.
That's great. So Imelda, I for I just want to honor you this morning for the ministry that you're doing here at our center. It is a few years ago when we began to talk about this, I didn't know what to expect, but you have gone beyond. You've gone beyond the ability of all the things you have. I'm surprised how much you've been able to do, and so I'm just. So you do Wednesday meditations.
We do. We hold
And then
online.
Saturday you're doing a little talk or something.
Yeah, my partner Mayra Sura, that she's a practitioner from the East Bay Church, so she's holding a little talk on Saturdays too, and me on Wednesday nights.
And then you're also doing spiritual support for anybody who,
Yeah, for
like
anybody who
practitioner.
needs. Yes, I'm here for them, and I mean I can pray with them. Whatever, if they only need that I listen them, so I can I can listen them. So they can call me, they can contact me, and we pray together.
This is funny because we're trying to have a conversation here at a distance, and Kristen keeps telling us, "Look at the camera," but we're
That's the
trying to have a
difficult.
conversation. Come on, it's all good. I just appreciate, and I know you're continuing to take classes beyond being a practitioner about doing a ritual, and that's why you're excited about the Dia de los Muertos, creating this altar for the Day of the Dead.
Yes, because I think it's time to get together, and it's time to remember our culture and memories for the people who we love, and they're not here anymore, but we still remember them.
Yes,
Yes.
great. Well, thank you so much for
Thank you for the
everything you're
community.
doing. So,
Thank you.
and now we go back to Bodhi for a song.
Hey, people, hey, you really feel like you're here, don't you, everybody? It's fun to be here with everybody, and it's such a joy to come up to Napa once a month and be with you all and laugh a little bit. Sitting on a bench one day, I asked the Lord, hey, teach me how to pray. And as I opened up my heart to Him, came to me where to begin. Oh, let me feel your love, Lord. Let me feel your love. Let me feel your love, Lord. Let me feel your love. And in those moments when I felt so close, I must own the consequence for the path that I chose. Time and time again I reach for the sky, only to remember the truth lies inside. Oh, let me feel your love, Lord. Let me feel your love. Let me feel your love, Lord. Let me feel your love. So I keep breathing one breath at a time. My spirit soars and I accept my life. The loving you comes from loving me, and in this balance lies the way to be. Oh, let me feel your love, Lord. Let me feel your love. Ah, let me feel your love, Lord. Let me feel your love. Let me feel your love, Lord. Let me feel your love. Let me feel your love, Lord. Let me feel your love. Let me feel.
That was so beautiful. That was amazing. I just I'm caught in the moment. I think I'm supposed to say something now, but it's great. First of all, to have a live musician here, and just that let the love come through me. let me love you. So thank you, Bodhi, so much. So we are continuing this theme of celebrating our vibrant and joyful abundance. And as I mentioned before, it's we are requesting that people fill out cards of intention. And during the announcements, I forgot to say that we've already been receiving several. And so we have already received, we have a goal of 150,000, which is a big goal, but I think we're going to be able to do it. And we've already received 24,500 towards that pledge. So that's really great to be able to do that. So each week we're going to do a little slide to kind of update it a little bit. And you can see that it's part of the Black Panther that we have here. So as we move further up, it'll become brighter and lighter. So and so I want to continue. Can you just stop? So this idea that that we can celebrate this vibrant and joyful abundance is one that we have from within us, not from without us. And this week in particular, we're talking about no more struggle, and that there's an abundance available for all people. And I know that can be a difficult concept to people because they say, well, there's pain as part of life. Well, there is loss and pain in life, but it doesn't mean we have to suffer. Like Ernest Holmes, who said, I believe the ultimate goal of life is to be a complete freedom from all discord of every nature, and that goal is available to be attained by all. Buddha suggested the same idea in his belief around Four Noble Truths, that he acknowledged there was pain in the world, but he said we do not need to suffer if we let go of our expectations, if we align with the greater truth that's in life. We know that this opens us up to a greater knowing in our lives, a greater power, by simply acknowledging that there's discomfort. But as long as we're willing to feel it, seek healing, we can move beyond this and transcend this. Transcend the suffering. I know that a combination of what we are at this center, what we promote, is both one of social changes as well as consciousness changes. So we know there may be things in society and institutions that we need to allow more opportunities for people. But we also know this philosophy we have that advocates for people to step into their truth, to align with spirit, creates a system and a oneness and a knowing, a revelation of truth that moves us beyond any sense of suffering. We know that traditional Judeo-Christian myth, I would call it, is somehow suffering is good or suffering makes you a better person. And I disagree with that. The joke I always say about, how many Jewish mothers does it take to change a light bulb? Now, before I give you the answer to this, Jewish mothers to me is an archetype. It's an archetype of people that are willing to suffer, willing to be a martyr for other people. So how many Jewish mothers does it take to change a light bulb? None. Just leave me in the dark. I'll be okay. Go out to eat. I don't mind. I'll just be here in the dark. So it's that whole thing that somehow we think that people will appreciate us if we're suffering, that they'll think we're good people for suffering, and that's simply not true, and that we have a choice. I go back to the words of the Christian mystic, and what I know about the mysticism and the metaphysics of all religions is it knows that we do not have to suffer, that there is peace and joy found within. So this Christian mystic Meister Eckhart said, any talk of God that is not comforting is a lie. Any talk of God that is not comforting is a lie. I believe we can create a world that works for everyone. And it's this union of spiritual activism and social activism that combines. Yesterday was a women's march. I hope some of you were able to attend. I was not, because I was teaching yesterday. But I know that there are things that we need to stand up for, but we stand for them in a way that stands for spiritual principles of oneness, of unity, of clarity. I think it's time to make sure we're advocating both from this social point and from a spiritual point of view. And the spiritual point of view is also the same. And that's why we know that it's in our highest and best to do that, because it's about oneness and unity. It is the truth that our spiritual teaching brings about. And the key on our personal path for this abundance, for all, for letting go of suffering, is to recognize that happiness is an inside job. From a place of spiritual recognition, and we can experience our wholeness, our perfection within, our completeness. There is nothing broken. And I think a lot of times people get stuck in a suffering cycle because they feel less than, because they feel some lack in their lives. There's a saying in our teaching is that though you walk through the valley of the shadow, just keep walking. A lot of us have been camping and RVing and different things. We don't need to camp out in that place of suffering. We need to keep moving. We can acknowledge the pain. We can acknowledge the loss. We can acknowledge things that we wish were different. And we know the way through that to create the life of our choosing is to find the deeper truth within us and reveal it. And as I mentioned, it's our continuing suffering is often based on a lack, that we believe that we're not enough, or I'm not enough, or there is not enough. When really the truth is right here. Rumi says that you wander from room to room hunting for the diamond necklace that is already around your neck. That we wander from room to room hunting for the diamond necklace that is already around our neck. The jewels are here, that which we are seeking is within. Now, I know sometimes it takes a journey to find it. Sometimes we need to do the wandering. And when we go back to Black Panther, he definitely had moments when he needed, the whole movie was really about him wandering, about him stepping into his power, because I think he needed to prove to himself that he was worthy to be the king. That there was struggle in the story, because one, it makes a good movie, but also because of this myth that he had to believe that he deserved it, that he didn't see himself, that there was a lack. And it's ironic because the village of the Wakanda was very prosperous, very abundant. It was available to him, and yet somehow there was a lack within him. So he ended up in a struggle where he was thrown off a tall waterfall. And he falls to what everybody presumed was his death. And yet even when he was perceived as dead, his vision that was from his father, from his ancestors, and his own vision he received in a mystical experience lived on. And the people in his tribe continued to live this vision even if they thought he was no longer there. And in his own life, he went over this waterfall, and we didn't know, but later we found out he had been reborn or survived or thrived because of this vision, because of this spiritual revelation with him. And so it was with us that we continue to thrive and strive because of this vision we hold. And this community continues to thrive because of our vision. Now, during this pandemic, we have not had an active visioning group, but it's time to restart this group. So on our webpage, if you're interested in being part of a regular monthly visioning group, it'll be the first Thursday of every month. We're going to do it by Zoom. Please let us know. There'll be a registration on there, or just give me an email and be a part of this. We'll just meet virtually, and I'll walk you through what the visioning process is, but it's for this community, and you can learn how to vision for yourself too. And it's this vision that took T'Challa through this death and rebirth cycle. It was this vision that opened him up to claiming his power. And what was wonderful is this community held this vision for they didn't know for what. They knew it was the highest and best for this community. They held this vision. And when he came back, it was easy for him to come into that. And that's true. We're still holding this vision for this community. So when we come back to in-person services, it's here. But it doesn't depend on the in-person services. We're still living that vision right here. And we appreciate the support and the knowingness of this. Kristen has been going through ministerial school. She's had a vision to become a minister. It's taken her, it was hard. It's not easy to go through all those classes, write all those papers, answer all those questions, go through all that stuff you go through. But she had this vision of what she wanted. And this is out picturing in her life right now, and we're celebrating that. And this is the power of vision. This is the power of our prayer and our meditation. We're revealing this truth. And it's also the power that brings us through a time of pain and loss and wishing things were different. But we don't need to suffer in this time because Spirit lifts us up. We're transcended. And this philosophy, spiritual principles, lift us up. It becomes a stairway to heaven, so to speak, an escalator of transcendence that we can bring. So we come back, let's nail this down a little bit. Let's unwrap this a little bit. How can we keep from struggling? We'll need to remember, first of all, that lack is a false belief. So we know that this idea of struggle, that there is somebody that we are against, that somebody is also a lie. Then in fact, you can see this picture of people doing tug of war, but what if instead we got together and created something greater, something more profound that we can do, that we can live this life, that we open up to something we create with each other, create beauty, create love, create a deeper understanding, create oneness. And that's the vision that we want to hold for this community, for all people. A lack in our lives is based on our worthiness, or not thinking there's enough in the world, or that we're broken, or that we're flawed in some ways. Once again, this is part of this Jewish Christian faith myth that we have, that there's something broken about us. And it's simply not true. We can find our wholeness within. And this worth is not based on how much money we have, or what kind of job we have, or what kind of house we have, or anything like that. A friend of mine sent me an email the other day, and the email said, money can't buy you everything. Money can buy you a bed, but not sleep. It can buy you a clock, but not time. It can buy you a book, but not wisdom. It can buy you a position, but not respect. It can buy you medicine, but not health. It can buy you oxygen, but not life. So you see, money isn't everything, and it often comes with pain and suffering. Now, I received this email from someone. I was surprised because it's not usually somebody I receive emails full of wisdom and truth. And so I was pleasantly surprised. However, the email went on and it said, I tell you this because I'm your friend. And as your friend, I want you to take away your pain and suffering by sending me all your money, and I will suffer for you. And then I go, yep, that's the friend I knew. So a little bit different. And yet it's true that money doesn't define our prosperity. It just defines the flow in our lives. And when we find that peace and that love and that joy, and we align with Spirit, we can find the truth. We can find that there's nothing missing at all, that there's an abundance in this universe, and we can experience it within, and then it begins to outpicture in our world when we know that to be the truth. Our lack is almost like a hole in our soul when we believe in lack. So sometimes money or good that we experience just goes right through. There's nothing to hold it, like the lottery winner or the child actor or the young professional athlete. Money just goes through them because they don't have the consciousness to hold this. There's a famous story that's often told in metaphysical circles. You've probably heard it from at this center or other centers. But I love the story, and I think it applies, so I want to retell it and talk about how it applies to today's message. The story goes like this. I was walking down the street. There was a hole in the street, and I fell in the hole. The next day I walked down the street. There was a hole in the street. I saw the hole, and I fell in the hole. The next day I walked down the street. I saw the hole, and I walked around it. The next day, I walked down a different street. Now, there's something to be said about this story, about our learning, our wisdom, our awareness that we don't fall in the same pitfalls. But it simplifies the spiritual journey for me too much, because I have found beliefs I've had in lack or in my worthiness not to be as simple as going down another street. I know it's metaphorical, but I have found beliefs like that don't change by me simply saying I'm letting go of those beliefs. I no longer am subject to that. I think that's great when we affirm that, because it becomes so eventually, but it's not an overnight process. It's not a one meditation, one affirmative prayer process. To me, it's more about I walk down the street, I see the hole, and I fill it in a little bit. I let go of that belief some. And then I'm walking down the street again. I notice the same hole. I notice it's not as deep. And sometimes I might even fall into it. It's not as deep, and I get out of it quicker, but I fill it in some more. It has less power over me. And over time, that becomes less and less influential on me until it has no power at all, until I pave it over and it's a smooth road for me. Occasionally, there might be a little dip in the road that resurfaces for whatever reason, and I'm just going to pave that over as well. When Buddha talked about the Four Noble Truths, he talked about aligning with Spirit. He talked about the right way, the middle way, or the right way. And the middle way is not about some Western interpretation of it being life in moderation. I mean, sure, that's a good idea. And right doesn't mean not wrong either. Right means an alignment within us about right understanding, right thought, right speech, right action, right livelihood, right effort, right mindfulness, right concentration or intention. It's not about perfection. Life is never about that, but it's towards this beauty and love and joy that is found in alignment with Spirit. The Shaker folk song that I love so much, it brings me to that idea. And the idea that tis a gift to be simple, tis a gift to be true, tis a gift to be free. When true simplicity is gained, to bow and to bend we shan't be ashamed. To turn, we will be our delight, till by turning, we come round right. So we come back to alignment. We will bow and bend. There are some challenges in our lives. I'm not trying to say there's not, but we won't be embarrassed when we are struggling, when we are finding our way in this path when we're having loss, when we need to ask for assistance, we need to reach out to someone to listen to us. There's nothing to be ashamed about that. And when we're able to turn and align, it comes in delight, it comes into the rightness of our divinity. And we know that in this rightness, that suffering is optional. So it is with T'Challa in his journey that he had, his hero's journey, that he had to find this way through the unknown world, through revelation of what was true inside him, that he was his power. Now, I know for us that we too are walking along this idea of this hero's journey ourselves into the unknown. And through this pandemic, through this time, nobody told us that this unknown world would be so long, almost egg-shaped. What was birthed in about Easter time in March, an egg shape, has continued to take us through the unknown, through a time that is unknown. On Facebook, I saw a great meme about this idea about the last 6 months or 9 months. It's been that according to the faces of Lucy, and for those who don't know that song, but you have January, February, March, April, May, June, July, August, September. I'm not sure what October is yet, but I think it's an extension of all that. So what we know is that life is about change. You know, here the butterfly little joke here, you've changed, and the caterpillar says that, and the butterfly says we're supposed to. So we are supposed to change, and through the hero's journey we know, and even if it's a longer process into the unknown that we know that we can still find this way that we are seeking by allowing Spirit to be within us. Meister Eckhart said that everything we see, hear, touch, feel, taste, speak, think, imagine is completing a circle God has drawn. So this is Spirit's journey guiding us through. We are not lost in the unknown world on the hero's journey. T'Challa was not either after he went over to this waterfall. We have gone into the unknown, but Spirit is with us. We are not alone in this journey. We do not need to think there is a lack or we have been abandoned. I also this week was thinking about the phrase suffering succotash, thinking about there's no more suffering. And it reminded me of the Warner Brothers.
Suffering succotash.
Could you hear that? Okay, I'll play it again.
Suffering succotash.
And how fun that is. And yet, I looked at what the meaning of it was. Suffering succotash was a phrase during the Depression because succotash is a combination of corn and beans. Then corn was not a popular meal. It was considered a livestock food. And people during the Depression, corn and beans were cheap. They were economical. So people were eating them almost every meal because it was a good source of protein. But they were suffering succotash because they were eating it again and again and again. And so it is with us. Our life seems a little bit like suffering succotash right now because it's been Groundhog Day since Groundhog Day. Our days are very similar. And even when we are busy, we don't have much meaning in our lives. And many of us don't have a lot to do. And we're kind of stuck in this every day, the same thing, or just a banality to our lives. And yet it is Spirit within us that brings us to a greater revelation, a greater aliveness, that we don't have to suffer from succotash or anything else. A couple decades ago, about 25 years ago, I was in a point where I was depleted. My energy was just down, and I was having trouble re-energizing. It wasn't like me at all. And I knew I'd been really busy. And I went to the doctor, and he said that he diagnosed with me with chronic fatigue syndrome. I don't know what that really meant. So he said, you got to slow down everything in your life. And so I did. I was beginning meditation at that time. So I went within. And what I discovered is I was doing so much in my life because I didn't think I was enough. I didn't think there was enough I could do to prove myself to others or to prove myself to myself that I was worthy. So while I did slow down my life and that helped, I also began to heal that belief I had that I was not enough, because that was the core part of rejuvenating myself. And I found that when I had that base that I was enough, and to pace myself accordingly, then also within I could find a rejuvenation, a renewal, and the energy to do all that I wanted to do. Now, I still have an internal sense of when I am doing too much, that I'm not allowing Spirit to do enough through me, that the little I is doing too much, which helps. But that's also an internal revelation I have found. We're doing the book Revealing Wholeness with Alyssa Rankin, and she talks about how once she had allergies to almost everything, and she went to the doctor, and he, did tests in that. But she found what the truth was revealing to her. She was allergic to life. She was unhappy. And when she changed that part, the allergies went away. And she was able to live her full life. So often there's a internal diagnosis, and that we can do a revelation of truth that keeps us from suffering, that we can acknowledge what's going on and move beyond. I love the movie Black Panther. In it, T'Challa, the main character, takes this heart-shaped magical herb that gives him superpowers, that gives him a mystical experience of his strength and his power and his love. And that's the one we're also using for the revelation of our ties and cards of intention as well. But I love that it's heart-shaped. And what I know, the way of the heart, the pathway, the heart is the way that we find our superpower at all. It unifies us with the truth that is ours, to open us up to a greater connection with life, a greater alignment that allows us to circulate in a way to receive and give, to acknowledge, and that's part of our spiritual practice that we have, a prayer and meditation, just taking a few moments in nature and being, and also our participation in giving and receiving financially. Because we do that from a place of gratitude. We give it from a place that when we give, we receive. It's blessed and multiplied. And we also know that this is spiritual practice. So I know I don't talk about this but once a year during this month of October, but it's an important practice to consider, and how we give, and from the consciousness of what we give. If we feel a lack within us, or if we feel a hole within us, one way to let that go is to find the abundance, to find the spiritual alignment of Spirit, to fill in that hole, even if it's spoonful by spoonful, shovel by shovel, filling up that hole to repave that road. We can find it in our ways of giving and receiving of our times and talents and treasures. And it is so connected when we do that. And what I know about this community is that we are coming together to build the heart together, that we believe there's not a struggle. We believe that all hands on deck, that together we create this heart, we create this love, we create this truth by doing this, that we can step into our greatness. We can step into the beauty of who we are. I go back to Rumi's poetry in this moment. He said, "You suppose you are the trouble, but you are the cure. You suppose that you are the lock on the door, but you are the key that opens it. It's too bad that you want to be someone else. You don't see your own face, your own beauty. Yet no face is more beautiful than yours." This is the voice of Spirit through Rumi that I know, that fills the hole of lack in my body, in my soul. And I know as a community, also, we are the cure. We are the key that opens the door. And I know each of you are the face that is, there's no more beautiful than yours. And we are a community that honors this beauty that is yours and ours collectively. So we build this heart together and we open to the greater truth. Let us go to prayer. We know there's only Spirit. We know that is all there is. And we know each and every one of us is connected with that which is Spirit, that which is aligning in our greatest truth. We know there is no lack, that there is an abundance within us and around us, and we celebrate that in this moment. We know we are this beauty, and the beauty is around us. Your face, our face, life, there is no more beautiful than ours. We celebrate this, and we know it is already so, and together we say, and so it is. And now, back to Bodhi.
Tried so long to do things my way. Well, it gets me in trouble most every day. Now I feel ready to write a new play. If you feel it too, let me hear you say, I'm ready to let go. I'm ready to let go. I'm ready to let go. Into the arms of Spirit. Into the arms of Spirit. Well, I've been on this ride for oh so many years. All the rough water on this river of tears. Thinking I can do it myself, push through the fear. Now when I surrender, I see it's all smoke and mirrors. I'm ready to let go. I'm ready to let go. I'm ready to let go. Into the arms of Spirit. Into the arms of Spirit. Well, it seems like forever that I've been holding on, hoping for things to get better with each new dawn. Well, the years roll by, it takes some time for me to know, well, the only way to get there, I have to let go. I'm ready to let go. I'm ready to let go. I'm ready to let go. Into the arms of Spirit. 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 The arms of Spirit.
Thank you, Bodhi. And thank you, everybody, for joining us today. Bodhi, they're sending you a lot of love. Imelda, they're sending you a lot of love for everything you have. We have some first-time people joining us today, so always good to have you join us. And some Kitty and Dee, Luann and Sherry and Diana. Always fun to have you here. Cindy, welcome. And we're from Ohio, from Montana, from Oregon, all over the place. So wonderful to have you join us today. So we invite you to affirm our abundance at the center. We appreciate any donations you've sent us in the mail or through PayPal. You'll see the link that's online. We appreciate the support of our community in this way. And all those who have sent us in the mail, we like to bless that and honor it. Divine love as me blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, and all that I circulate. And so it is. Thank you, thank you, thank you. We also appreciate our families and children for everything that you are doing. I just bless you because I know there's challenges in the home. And we also have something to support you is that we have Black Panther curriculum for you that's available. And you can pick that up here at the center, let Kristen know you're looking for it, that you're interested in it. Kristen will drop it off for you. It's really powerful curriculum. So we raise our hands to honor you. We simply say, we love you, we care about you, and we're here for you. And finally, our community affirmation. Repeat after me. Something wonderful is happening through me right now.
It's happening through me right now.
I am led by Spirit.
I'm led by Spirit.
I am guided by wisdom.
I am guided by wisdom.
I am protected by love.
I am protected by love.
I am here to be a blessing.
I am here to be a blessing.
I am so grateful.
So grateful.
And so it is.
And so it is. Let there be peace. I am a stand for peace. Let there be love. I am a stand for love. Let there be joy. I am a stand for joy. We are making a new world now. Let there be love, peace. I am a stand for peace. Let there be love. I am a stand for love. Let there be joy. I am a stand for joy. We are making a new world now.
So as we go forth, we no longer suffer with succotash. We celebrate with joy and love. And so it is.